Yo, serious question. Why is almost everyone and their grandmother's dog training with 27 reps left in the tank and resting only 1 to 2 minutes between sets when the goal is to build muscle? I still see this way too much, and I guess it'll always be common, but let's focus up here, little fellas. If you want to put on as much muscle as possible, the 3 most important training variables are going to be your rest periods, intensity, and technique. Most individuals are resting for 1 to 2 minutes between sets. You need to bring that up to 3 to 4, even for unilateral work, as in one side at a time training. Longer rest periods are superior for muscle hypertrophy, and this has been observed consistently within the exercise science literature, even in volume studies where participants were able to achieve similar muscle gains with low volume versus high volume simply by just resting longer, as you can achieve higher levels of motor unit recruitment for the given tissue, in other words muscle gains, the more recovered the central nervous system is. So you can literally get more or similar gains with less total sets and thus less overall fatigue by just resting longer between sets. Of course, however, you do need to be training very hard, and unfortunately most individuals just don't do this. In fact, this has also been observed within the literature. Researchers found that most trainees are very poor when it comes to gauging relative intensity. In other words, most people stop their set extremely far away from failure because they think they are already at it. You don't even need research for this either. Just take a quick look around the gym. Intensity is key, as the closer you train to failure, the more muscle gains you will procure due to more fibers experiencing mechanical tension. Again, this is also backed up by a recent meta-analysis by Robinson and colleagues. And lastly, your technique needs to be spot on as well. If you blast through the eccentric or allow form breakdown near the end of the set to occur, which happens to be the most important part of the set, other acting tissue will become involved and thus take tension off the target tissue and result in less recruitment for it. So be sure to train with intent. The weight you use does not matter outside of progressive overload. Slow the eccentric down, pause in the stretch position to standardize technique, and avoid form breakdown. The goal should be to use the least load for the most stimulus possible, purposely make the exercise difficult. Volume is determined by how well you're training, in other words, how stimulative it is. Do these things first, then worry about volume after. So I do hope that helps, and as always, make sure you like and follow for more productive training.